Hi creators, welcome back to another episode of the Travel Creator Podcast. I have some tough love for you today. Yeah, I do. The creators who care about growing online, they care about content repurposing. They care about using content that is already killing it. Yeah, I said it. Let's get into it. So I know that as a creator, you have so many projects that you really want to get to, but you sometimes feel like you just can't because there are a million other things that feel more important than these dream projects. There's always something, there's always another box to check. Are you putting off any of these projects because you're trying to get content out? Like, do you feel as though getting something posted online comes before working on the projects that will really move the needle for you? I would not stress too much if this is you. It's really easy to get caught up in the vanity metrics of content creation. It's a tough world out there, but I am always a fan of less but better. One of the best ways that you can execute less but better is with content repurposing. And I know that this is not just copy and pasting. Otherwise, everyone would do it. Okay, if it was easy, everyone would do it. But I will say it again, in case you need to hear it, repurposing content is not copying and pasting. It is a strategy of content creation to bring you more time, increase the reach of your content, help you find a new love for content creation, and give you the space you need, give you back your little head and your expertise so you can put it into the places in your creator business that cannot be outsourced. P.S. I have a podcast episode in season 1 about what content is actually worth repurposing if you want to learn even more and take this to the next level. I also have a free content repurposing guide that is always in the show notes for you. So my stupid word for the year is less. I have it on like one of those cute little beaded bracelets. Yeah, I do. Less, but better. And I have noticed is everything I feel like I say in this podcast is so obvious. You just sometimes like I need to say it to even understand it myself, or like somebody just needs to tell you the thing for you to like internalize it, you know? So continuing that theme, what I've noticed is that the more I focus on very few things, on one or two things that nobody else can do but me, I feel so good. I feel more creative. I feel confident. I feel brave. And I'm even more excited about the work that I'm doing. It's clear to me that this is the work that I need to do. And by focusing on very few things in my business, oh my gosh, it like feels amazing. This also reminds me of a mindset little mantra I heard a few months ago that has been rattling around in my brain that I am striving to live by. And I encourage you to do so as well if you are trying to take this creator shit seriously. And it is delegate or delete. Because if you're wasting any of your time on stuff you don't need to be doing, how are you making any progress? And it's so easy to be like, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. Well, do you really want to change anything? If you really want to change anything, then we have to start now. And I'm sorry for the tough love, but I know you know this. This is just me kicking you in the pants a little bit. I'm sorry. Content repurposing is a way for travel creators to make sure you are delegating the things in your content that you don't need to be doing. I know you're smart and you're brave and you can do them, but just because you can, should you do them? And sometimes I think people get caught up in the mindset of like, oh, by the time I could explain it to somebody, I could just do it myself. And it's like, well, the goal isn't for you in 12 months from now to be still designing your cover images. Like, no. You know, you can if it brings you so much joy, go ahead. But should you be putting your time into doing something like that you could spend 5 minutes one time explaining to someone how to do, how you like them to be done, and then you can use the future time that is now compounding because you don't have to ever look at them again to do things that are more important. For example, I have an example for you. So my clients who I work with for content repurposing, they get 6 blog posts, 4 newsletters, 5 videos with captions, 5 static posts with captions every single month. And that is over 6,000 words of content. And that goes on in the background of their business. So while they're out in freaking Fiji, snorkeling with whatever's out there, content is being pushed out to their audience so that they're not freaking feeling productivity guilt while they're rotting on a beach that nothing is being shared. Because that's unhealthy. And I love writing content. It's like a win-win, okay? Like I get to write their content while they get to like rot on the beach. Like that makes me just as happy as rotting on the beach. I love it. But this content repurposing leaves these creators time to do the dang thing they set out to do and to not get caught up in the nitty-gritty of what they should be posting on Instagram. It's time to make that somebody else's problem. Okay, it is. It's time to make it somebody else's problem. You can make it my problem. Here is another reason why creators should care about content repurposing if they give a damn about growing. Repurposing lets you keep up with the content your community wants. So you have spent a hell of a lot of effort, time, money, energy on building this community, on creating this community every single day. First of all, I'm not even being sarcastic. That is difficult to do, and that is incredible. Amazing. Good job. You deserve a little treat today. If you're in the car, just put the little turn signal on. I know there's a Starbucks close. I know. Maybe don't go to Starbucks, but you know what I mean. Okay. You're someone who travels all the time. You're someone who travels all the time. It is incredibly unrealistic to expect you to create exceptional content when you've just traveled for 30 hours and you don't even know what time zone you're in. You're like 3 time zones out of whack. Let's just think about this for a second. So instead of trying to keep up with these unrealistic expectations of Instagram creators, repurposing your content from your previous trips that can be running in the background, okay, while you actually rest or enjoy where you are or spend time with people that you love or work on your business. I have noticed, and maybe you've done this before, creators sometimes will add to their stories like, sorry, I haven't shared content from like X destination yet, or like I'm catching up on blah. Like, have you ever done this? Does this sound familiar to you? This is just the reality that like there's so much pressure in this travel content world to get content out as soon as possible. Like, okay, damn, you just went to the Hoover Dam. Time to snap a pic. Okay, my hot take is that you don't have to freaking do that. You seriously do not. What would happen? Just paint a little picture in your head if you didn't share content from your latest trip. What would happen? Probably nothing. Nope. No IG police. That nobody's showing up at your door to like Marie Antoinette you. No, it's not happening. It literally does not matter. If you're filling your grid with content from previous trips, your audience is still going to show up. They don't give a flying fuck if you went on this trip 3 weeks ago, 3 years ago, or 3 months ago. They like what you're posting and they like you. That's why they're there. They're not there to see what you're doing every minute by minute. Is behind the scene content incredibly successful? Yes. Does behind the scene content have to be in real time? Absolutely not. They don't care if you show up with something from last month, a quarter, just as long as you are showing up, which honestly can be quite a challenge if you are not repurposing your content. I am a believer, and the more I think about this, the more I believe it, that massive businesses can be built without being broy. They can be built while taking care of yourself and being kind to yourself without staying up all night and never eating. And content repurposing is something that can help you do that. No, we're not doing any broy advice. That's not happening here. I also want to share with you, for almost 3 years, I have had a screenshot from a tweet from James Clear on my desktop that says, I have it like memorized now, optimize for time before money. The most important question is, how do I want to spend my days? Make as few choices as possible that violate your answer. I think that is like one of the most moving quotes I have ever come across, hence why it's like lived on my desktop for 3 years. But it just reiterates and puts into perspective, again, something you already know. Time is our most expensive resource. And this tweet reminds me why I do what I love to do. I love helping overwhelmed travel creators make as few violations to this answer as possible. So I encourage you to figure out, how the hell do you want to spend your days? And how do you make as few choices as possible that violate your answer? And that comes with delegating or deleting. Because if you are so for real with yourself, writing captions and shit like that is probably not when we look back on our lives, how we want to spend your days. The reality is, it is how I want to spend mine. I love it. I love it. But instead, you'd probably rather be exploring new places, eating new foods, maybe doing literally nothing. So if you're like, yes, I want to repurpose my content, I don't even know how the heck to do that, but I feel like it's something that I need to do. Go to my Instagram, tell me you listen to this. I'm at Travel Content Writing. Find me, find my face. I can help you take a look at your content holistically, and I think you'll be incredibly surprised about what content can be repurposed from that. Like, you've already done the hard freaking part. Now, let's reap the rewards of your hard work, effort, and energy, and we'll turn it into even more incredible content so that you can drink a fabulous thing on the beach. Let me know if you have any questions about content repurposing. I hope this gave you a swift but gentle kick in the pants to do something with the content you already have. Happy creating, folks, and I will see you next week. Okay, if you're still here, I'll share with you a little life update. So, my boyfriend Matt and I just moved out of our apartment and into an SUV with a rooftop tent for an indefinite period of time. Yeah, we did. Because I would like to see some red rocks and some mountains. And as someone who grew up in the Midwest, literally going anywhere ever is like the most exciting thing. So I'm so pumped. We leave for our road trip in a couple of weeks and it has no end date. And so like, this is my life now, which is just crazy. But let me know on Instagram. Let me know if you want to see how, like, what we're doing, where we're going, how the hell we are like living in a tent, basically. So crazy. Let me know if you want to see that content. Okay. All right. I hope you have a great day. You're doing amazing things if nobody has told you yet. I will see you soon.